See basketball from Bud Walton Arena in Fayetteville. The Arkansas Razorbacks return home to host the 2-0 Troy Trojans out of the Sun Belt. It's another really good mid-major squad coming to town while the Hogs look to get back in the win column. Brett Dolan, Manny Watkins, delighted to have you with us. Manny, 2 games in, Boogie Flynn has been a consistent scorer for the Razorbacks, and Adu Thero has been dynamic at times.
When you look at the word talent in the dictionary, under that word is a picture of John Calipari. He's always going to have it. Boogie Flynn, Adu Thero, these guys are primetime players, and the Arkansas Razorbacks have to be happy that they're on the squad.
We're going to be talking about these guys a lot. Tonight, though, for the Troy Trojans, we'll be discussing Jackson Fields. He's coming off a really nice week.
Yeah, coming off a nice week, Sun Belt Player of the Week. He's a guy that's going to come into Bud Walton Arena, and he's not afraid to come out of here and try to get a win.
15-10 against New Orleans, part of that Player of the Week honor for the Houston area kid, Jackson Fields. Troy coming off a 20-win campaign, 13 W's in the Sun Belt Conference last year. They return 12 players in the storyline maybe for Arkansas tonight. You see Trevin Brazil, Manny. He'll get the start rather than Big Z, who did against Baylor.
Yeah, I mean, I think a luxury to have as Arkansas Razorbacks. You swap out Big Z, put in Trevin Brazil, vice versa. It really doesn't matter. 2 guys with elite talent, plug and play, really.
Our officials, Owen Short, Rob Rourke, and Sean Seals, and we are underway. And the Razorbacks will control first.
Brett, real quick, bringing back 12 guys in the transfer portal, NIL era of college basketball, I don't know if I heard you right there.
It's a great story. We'll talk more about that, giving this Troy team, I think, a chance to win some of these bye games, and they have quite a schedule. Thero had his path cut off. Arkansas, Manny, really struggled against the zone against Baylor. They were expecting some of that today, and the first shot is an air ball. They never led the entire game against the Bears in Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, Baylor, another program like Arkansas that expects to win national championships. You play that game in Dallas. It's always good to play those games early, get a real feel of how you are up against some of the better competition in the country. Hogs came up short, but you got to like a few things that came out of that game.
Conaway, there's Jackson Fields, kicks out for an open look from the corner, and the 3 ball will drop from Thomas Dowd. A year ago, he had 22 in a game at Oregon State, a game that went to double overtime.
Yeah, good first 2 possessions by Troy. Solid defensive possession, and then get a wide open 3. Thero right there. Just using his body. That's athleticism. And 1.
See Arkansas starting 5. Coach Cal said Thero was in attack mode, and they needed his performance the other day. 24 points against Baylor. And sometimes when the shots aren't falling from outside, he has the ability to get to the rim and score.
Yeah, I mean, you look at his body, already NBA developed body. He just used it there on that play. And when your shot's not falling, got to get to the free throw line, got to get to the basket, and he did just that.
Troy team averaging 80 points a game in their first 2 wins against Toledo and New Orleans. One thing about returning so many players, they get a lot of steals. They don't seem to make a lot of mistakes. A couple of steps from Conaway, unable to finish. We'll see how they handle Arkansas's length and athleticism. They're letting them play. That became a fight for the basketball, and the arrow is in favor of Troy with 6 to shoot.
Love it. Team like Troy, you have to be tough. You come into a hostile environment, come into an SEC opponent. If you show any signs of weakness, the Hogs, Arkansas Razorbacks, are going to attack that. Toughest team always wins. Got to be tough.
They build this program around toughness. Rigsby Jr. will inbound. Both brothers on the floor for the time being. And Fields just loses the ball out of bounds. One thing we'll be talking a lot tonight, this Arkansas team does not shoot the 3 well. At least they have it in 2 games and 2 exhibitions. What Troy has done is just great 3-point defense. They do not give up that 3-point shot very often. The percentage is extremely low. Arkansas has an open look, and how about that, a blocked 3-pointer.
Yeah, it's a great closeout. And to your point, the day of basketball is now shooting threes. Great defense by Boogie Flynn there. You shoot a lot of threes, so if you're a team, you want to be good defensively guarding that 3-point shot, because most teams are coming out firing 25, 30 threes a game.
How about another block as Wagner was stuffed? That's 2 for the Trojans.
Troy team playing fearless right now, coming up a couple blocks past few possessions.
Look at that, Manny. 337th in the country in three-point percentage, while Troy's defense is 6th. Something you would think would have to give.
Yeah, something's got to give. Those are polar opposite numbers. It is early. We've played 2 games, so some of those times those numbers get inflated, but definitely don't want to see that if you're Arkansas.
There's another jump arrow in favor of Arkansas. We watched Troy go through warm-ups. They do not have the size and the body frames of what you might think for a mid-major team. They've got some bounce. They've got some length. That's why it might make it more of an interesting matchup than some of the other teams Arkansas will face that get overwhelmed by their size.
Yeah, I mean, I think Arkansas is still the superior team from an athletic standpoint, but yeah, watching warm-ups, watching this team go in layup lines, like definitely some athletes that you don't normally see at the level of Troy, makes for a fun game.
Thero backs up, open look, can't hit the 3, rebound by Rigsby Jr. Controlling is Miles Rigsby. Has to get rid of the basketball. He'll go ahead and shoot. There's Brazil with the rebound.
Solid defensive possession by Arkansas. And they'll get out and run.
Wagner on the drive. There's Brazil left alone. He'll take the 3 and it rims out no.
It's a good look by Arkansas. You'll take that shot. A Trevin Brazil spot-up shot. The DJ Wagner drive.
Marcus Rigsby Jr. with the knockdown. He's the backup last year, averaged about 12 minutes a game, getting a expanded role.
You love that in college basketball. In today's game, you don't see a lot of guys who started, great pass by Boogie Flan right there, who started, in a more of a backup role, minimal minutes, stick it out with the program. Then you see your role increase year after year. NIL, transfer portal, you don't normally see guys coming in, growing in a program and staying in that program for an extended period of time.
Arkansas with the steal. Thero lost the basketball on the way up for a flush.
The crowd was ready to.
What Arkansas did against Lipscomb the other night, they got 25 points off turnovers. They were dynamic, turning defense into offense. And I don't know if Thero heard some footsteps or just, quite frankly, lost it.
Happens sometimes.
You'll never have an easier path to the basket and you let it go. There's Connerway. Brazil up for another rebound. But the ball must be wet tonight. It's been deflected and knocked away.
A lot of deflections.
Sluggish beginning. Boogie Flan, both of the games this year, he scored 17 points. The other day, 7 assists, no turnovers, and that was a big difference. Arkansas was underwater in turnovers to assists against Lipscomb, above water against Baylor.
He just jinxed the turnovers.
I did. That's me. First media timeout. It's the Troy Trojans up by a point over the Razorbacks. And the Trojans lead the Razorbacks by a point after the first media timeout. Let's bring you courtside Brett Dolan, Manny Watkins. It's good to have Manny back. His running mate, Dusty Hennis, had to fill in for him on game 1. We went to break talking about three-point defense. Arkansas has had a struggle this year from beyond the arc. Troy really defends. What goes into defending that three-point shot well in today's game?
It's really all about making hard shots a little bit harder and contesting the three-point shot. I think a lot of teams build their defense around, okay, how can we make people take shots so further away from the basket? Nowadays, so many people take so many threes. It's really all about how do we make those threes that we know they're going to take just a little bit tougher, and Troy does it with the best of them.
How can Arkansas overcome those shooting woes? By using their speed, athleticism to attack the rim and get by their defenders.
Yeah, you're spot on. It starts from within. You've got to get to the basket. You've got to get to the free throw line. And when you do that, it opens up more wide open threes. And everyone knows if you can take a wide open three versus a contested three, you're going to make a lot more wide open threes. So Arkansas has to use their athleticism, attack the basket, and then those wide open threes will come, which then they can knock them down at a higher clip.
I know Coach Cross of Troy isn't a believer that Arkansas is not a good shooting team. Quite honestly, he has some firsthand experience when his Texas Arlington team back in 2014 faced Kentucky. They weren't shooting the three well. There's a nice basket from Fields, and all they witnessed that night was Devin Booker going 5 of 6, and he said, we found out quickly that good shooting teams can have bad nights. It doesn't necessarily create a theme, but I think Arkansas wants that not to be a theme that we're talking about in the first month.
Yeah, I think for opposing teams, the worst thing you can do is to expect the team to not shoot well and play them as if they can't shoot the ball, because sure enough, on that night, they'll knock them down.
Right.
And I think for Arkansas, yeah, it's just blocking out the noise. Obviously, you see the numbers. Everyone's going to talk about it. But, hey, as a basketball player, when you get a shot, let it fly. You got to take the shot with confidence.
Manny, one thing Cal told this team today at shoot-around, listen, you miss a couple of shots, that can't affect your next shot.
Nope.
You can't go into a funk because you don't hit a couple of baskets. You've got to move on with the same confidence you had before as Flan misses. I know that's easier said than done as we have yet another tie-up.
Yeah.
Can you process that mentally where you have the inner fortitude to say, I've missed a couple of shots, but this one is going in?
Yeah, so definitely easier said than done. But basketball is, I tell everyone this, basketball is over 50% mental. If you can block out the noise, if you can have short-term memory when you make a mistake or miss a shot and come down and have the utmost confidence that the next one is going in, that's how you become an elite player and then ultimately build an elite team. So I love what Calipari is doing, trying to push confidence into his guys, breathe life into them, because the shots will fall, guys. You just got to keep taking them.
Coach Cal said their lack of success against the zone was on him. He said he was disappointed in himself for not having the team prepared. It's been hard for them to scrimmage. They haven't had healthy bodies leading up to the first game. They do some walkthroughs, and, it's still very much a work in progress, as I would imagine it is for most teams.
Yeah.
Nice backdoor cut, the miss from Connerway. Davis the rebound.
Early in the year, no one's expecting to play their best basketball in this time frame. But one thing you got to know with the zone defense is a lot of times people see zone and that means, okay, shoot a bunch of threes. In the zone, there's a lot of holes in the paint, close to the basket. You got to be patient in the zone because you can also get some easy floaters and layups in it as well.
The one thing I've noticed from watching practice is we see a sloppy sequence is that Coach Cal is a bit like a football offensive coordinator. When you need to cut, he's precise. He wants you in a certain spot. He wants that back cut at just the right time so that you can take advantage of the defense. And if you're a second late on that cut or you're a little bit lazy, it takes away the entire integrity of the play.
Yeah, college basketball is a game of inches. There's a lot of talent on the floor at all times. Nowadays, guys have money on the line with NIL.
Right.
You win in the details. So that's what Calipari is preaching. Hey, you can't be a half second off. Nice move there.
Miles Rigsby.
By Rigsby. But you can't be a half second off. If you're a half second off, that's the difference between a win and a loss. And a win and a loss is the difference between making the NCAA tournament and not making the NCAA tournament. It's all in the details. And Rigsby right here, just one-on-one basketball. Stop. Put in the basket, and that's a tough move. But you got to be focused in on the details, and that's what Calipari preaches.
Looked like Richmond was trying to keep those hands up, but he gets whistled for the foul. And Rigsby out of Fort Worth, SC Sunbelt, freshman of the year a season ago, completes the three-point play. Hey, it's a 6-point Trojan advantage. Arkansas 1 of 8 from the field over the last 3 minutes. And that's the third block by the Trojans. Knox with the teardrop. Gathers in his own miss. Boogie Flan, more of a mid-range shooter than long-range, but that was way short.
Good look by Boogie Flan. And he's one of the guys that, he'll miss. He can miss 2, 3. He's coming down with the utmost confidence in his next shot.
That's a miss from Fields. Arkansas with 2 field goals so far in the game. Richmond on the drive. He's left-handed, switched hands in midair, and scored.
Good move. Good move by Richmond. That's what you have to do. Troy's going to play the three-point line heavy. Get your body into the paint and knock down those easy 8, 9-foot shots.
Connerway going baseline. Nice find, and Fields will lay it in. The young man who came in as a 3, he's now the 5 at a Missouri City, Texas, Elkins High School. 30th career start. And Coach Cross gave him a lot of praise for keeping this team together. He called him the connector. Every team needs a connector to get
Glue
these
guy.
players on the same page.
Got to have a glue guy. Got to have someone that holds it together.
Hey, Big C has a really good stroke. Coach Calda said maybe he has the best three-point stroke of anybody on the team, and he's 7'2", and he might be right.
I do remember the days when if you got above like 6'8", it was a prerequisite that you couldn't shoot. And nowadays, it just doesn't matter. 7'2", 7'10", 7'6", you can knock the three ball down.
There's Big
and
C!
do that.
The catch, and he couldn't finish. Arkansas's missed 2 dunks.
2 dunks. It was only right. You can't be 7'2" and hit from an NBA range.
So he
three
can hit
and
the
then,
three, but he doesn't get the dunk.
And then get the dunk. Look at that. Close.
That ball went 40 feet in the air.
I
You
gotta
lose
maybe
track of it.
Thought it would drop in.
Had that ball gone 30 feet in the air and come down through the net, we would have all gone home. That would have been enough. I think this tempo right now is exactly where Troy wants it. Some frustration. That's the home run ball and a slam from Bellamy.
Nice play by Troy.
What a great inbounds play.
Yeah, great inbounds play. You know, teams don't always think you're going to go long and catch them off guard.
So no zone for Troy. They're going man on the drive as Knox. Arkansas has been a little bit erratic on the finish, though, once they've gotten into the paint.
Yeah, they're attacking the basket as they should, but Troy's just done a good job of building a wall in there and making those attacks a little bit harder.
Connerway the miss. Richmond again in the paint, bringing some energy, just not a basket. Rebound to Victor Valdez out of Mexico. And that ball just went right through the hands of Connerway. That'll not please Coach Cross.
Got some tempo now. This is where Arkansas is more comfortable with all the athletes they have on the floor getting up and down.
Overdue for a media timeout. These guys a little bit winded with the intensity they're playing defense tonight. On the switch, Wagner driving against Rigsby. That going to be a tripping foul? I think indeed that'll be the case.
Yep.
Time for a timeout. Trojans off to a good start, lead the Razorbacks by 5. Manny, this is the storyline we started tonight with. 12 returners from Troy, more than 100 starts from a year ago. And listen, they lost 2 guys to pro ball across the pond, if you will. But what Coach Cross has done, he said, listen, it takes a little bit of luck. You got to get some guys to pass on maybe bigger schools or NIL money. But they want to run it back, and they want these guys to maintain some continuity. And if you can do that in this era, it allows you to coach differently, because the things you might be working on in November, you've already put in back in the summer.
Yeah, keeping 12 guys on a team, that just puts you ahead of the curve of virtually every single team in the NCAA. I'm still shocked by that number. I don't know, also at a mid-major school where that talent gets poached every second of every day, you're able to do that. So kudos to the coaching staff, but it's really just a testament to the culture.
And I think tough work. I mean, the one thing that they use as their slogan is, we take the stairs. And not only is it their slogan, it's on their warm-up tops. So you may take the elevator, Manny Watkins. Troy Trojans, they're taking the stairs.
Hey, I'll see them on the top floor in 20 minutes. But, hey, I love it. Work hard. It's a culture. And when you have that take the stairs culture, that's how you accumulate 12 guys from the team last year to be on the team this
What
year.
you're seeing is some of that toughness exhibited in these first 8-9 minutes here at Bud Walton.
Yeah, I mean, you can just see it in the way they're playing. Fearless. That says it all. They take the stairs.
There's Cooper Campbell in the corner. He's part of the Red Mambas. A couple of brothers with red hair. One of them's Kobe. That might explain some of it.
Red Mambas. That's good.
Keel on the drive. That's a nice handoff, but Big Z with the stuff on Bellamy and a whistle before the shot clock. And
They're going to take a look
I
at
think
it.
they're going to go take a look.
You hate that if they get that foul call for Arkansas. You play great defense for 29 seconds, and then that last second you get a foul. It'll be interesting to see how Troy, you got some of the backups in, starters are out getting a break. Can they keep up the
Previous
momentum?
plays under further review.
Can they keep up what the starters were able to start the game
I would
with?
agree. That's the challenge. We'll see if this foul occurred before the shot clock expired. Troy was almost in no man's land with Big Z at the rim and that shot clock winding down. Let's take a look. Well, it's clearly a foul to me, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a foul, but because it was called after the shot clock went off. If you look at the ref over there to the right.
It looks like there's .3 because Big Z's got that arm swinging,
yeah,
so that's going to be a foul.
It's a foul for sure.
After review, the call is confirmed. It'll be a foul on Arkansas number 44.
I think that's a good use of replay. It was quick and efficient. Big Z gets a second foul. He really took over that Lipscomb game on opening night, went 5 for 5 in the second half when Arkansas had watched a big lead dwindle to 4. But 2 points in 17 minutes against Baylor, and now 2 fouls, so he may sit, although he's still in there for the time being. And this is Jarrell Bellamy, Phoenix City, Alabama native. A couple of years at Chattahoochee Valley Community College.
When you're on the road, especially as a mid-major team coming into an SEC environment,
can't miss those.
Can't miss free throws. I know it's early, but you have to 12 for 13, 15 for 17. You got to be almost perfect at the free throw line because your margin for error is so slim when you're coming to a superior opponent's home floor. So we'll see if Troy can continue. I know it's early, can continue to make free throws, but something that's going to be important if they want to come out of here with a win.
I think the bigger concern is 10 points in 10 minutes for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, I mean, getting to the basket and attacking, I like the game plan, not settling for threes, but just got to finish once you get in there.
Here's an observation as Nelly drives. Carter Knox wide left. Arkansas got some. Oh, Trevin Brazil the following flush. Arkansas wasn't prepared maybe for the zone against Baylor. They spent a lot of time working on the zone, and they're getting man tonight.
Man to man. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's a chess match. College basketball is a chess match, and you got to be prepared for anything that a team throws at you.
A couple of number 11s going at it. Campbell trying to challenge 4 Razorbacks. They've attempted that pass a couple of times. It's hard to get through those arms and the length of Arkansas. Thero. There's the drive, left it short. Rebound to Bellamy.
Another somewhat of a chip shot by Arkansas. That was a little tough from Thero, but.
Oh, Carter Knox might have been poked in the eye. He went down and rolled over in pain.
I think so.
Bellamy got the personal foul. And it's team foul number 4 on Troy. Arkansas has only made 5 field goals. This was the first dunk that they've made tonight, Manny, after missing 2.
Previous plays under further
Trevin
review.
Brazil using that athleticism, crashing the glass, and doing something only a few humans on the entire planet can do.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Must be a great feeling.
Must be a great feeling.
Hey, they're going to review this to see if there was anything flagrant on the foul.
I think he definitely got him in the face, but unintentional swipe.
These teams in this series have met 6 times. This will be the 7th, and that's what they're going to look at right there. I mean, there was contact. I don't know if you assume this is flagrant or players just kind of scrambling for the basketball. Manny, I was going to say, though, that they met a couple of years ago in late November. Arkansas
After
won
review,
here by
the play
13.
on the floor stands.
Ricky Council at 27, Anthony Black at 14. Looks like Carter's okay.
Yeah, and Brett, if you remember that game, Arkansas was losing late into the second half, and it really took a Ricky Council barrage of mid-range jumpers, threes, and dunks to expand that lead to 13. But that game was not a 13-point game. Troy came in here and, with 5-6 minutes left, had a lead in the second half. So a team that's played in this environment and expect to come in and play their best
Indeed.
and try to win.
Troy did win one game in the series in 2002. Those were the Stan Heath years. Thero had his path cut off. Boy, I really like the defense tonight for Troy. Brazil follows his miss with the tip, and that's a couple of baskets in the paint for Trevin Brazil.
Good, using that athleticism. That's what Brazil has to continue to do. I think sometimes he can get happy with shooting the three. Get in there, use that vertical, use that length, and go get some easy baskets, and then those threes will open up for you.
Arkansas has needed him, and there's another rebound for Brazil. Arkansas has never led in this game. Extra pass. Wagner, the three. Boy, the threes just are not falling. Arkansas 1 of 9.
Everyone's getting on the floor every other possession in this game.
We've reached the over on jump balls in the first half. That's at least 4.
I'm Arkansas. You're 1 from 9 from the three. That one by Wagner was a wide open dribble kick. You have to continue to shoot those. I don't care how many you miss. If you get a wide open look, you've got to take it. Dribble penetration, get into the paint, kick out and find the guys. If you keep taking more of those shots, eventually they're going to start falling.
Thero just lost the ball. Did it hit off his knee? I think the answer is yes. That ball was deflected by Keel. And maybe, Manny, it's a good point to mention that a year ago this Troy team, top 10 of the country in steals, they averaged 10 a game with some active hands and good defense.
Yeah, getting deflections, using those hands right there. You see active hands without fouling is the kicker. But if you're top 10 in the country at anything in the NCAA, you're doing it at a mega high level. So Troy, good defensive team.
Conaway won't take the three. He'll drive instead, switch to the right hand. That was blocked by Arkansas. Going to be tough to get points in that manner if you're the Trojans, but as we go to break, Troy maintains a 2-point lead. It's good to have college basketball back. Love you, miss you, mean it. The sports returned. This is College Sports Communicators Membership Appreciation Week. These valuable communicators coordinate public and media relations, websites, social media, graphic design, video, stats, strategic communications, and much, much more, helping to tell the stories of teams and student athletes at universities and colleges around the country. See Chad Mays, the SID from Troy, a Nebraska grad and San Francisco area native. There's Mike Haywood, and his uncle Dave is part of the Hall of Fame for Crusader. So thank you to Chad and Mike and all of the SIDs. I personally try and wear a few of those out every year. So
it's the people behind the scenes that make the ship go in every aspect. It's people that aren't always in the limelight, but they make the well-oiled machine run.
That three would not drop. Rebound to DJ Wagner. Boogie Flan. That feels like it's more of his game, but again, that shot was short.
Yeah, just the last two have left short. I like the confidence.
We're going to show a feature at the half on the system. They have employed the NOAA system that you get immediate computer feedback in the practice gym. But right now you'd like to have a few of that feedback here because these shots have been short or offline. And that was quite a collision. That was a car crash with the new Thero going over the back of Conaway.
Conaway got away with a little bit of running in front of Thero there.
That's a turnover that will not please the Trojans off the hands of Rigsby.
Unforced turnovers. Can't have those if you want to win on the road.
You cannot. Coach Cross, season number 6 at Troy. One year he was an assistant at TCU under Jamie Dixon, but before that coached at UT Arlington. And he's had 3 straight 20-win or better seasons, so he has built that Trojan program into a good one in the Sun Belt.
Troy, good at football, solid basketball. They're building a solid athletic program in Alabama.
Thero on the drive, and he gets the friendly roll, and that's 7 points for Adu. And down
holding his ankle.
Goes Trevin Brazil.
I don't know if he caught a foot on the way down.
Arkansas back to even, but the crowd goes quiet in a hurry as Brazil landed awkwardly. And just rolling on the floor right now as he's being attended to. And let's take one look to see if he came down on.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man.
I didn't know the body and the ankle and the foot could move in that manner.
Yeah, that didn't look good.
And certainly for Trevin, who's had some injury woes, hope that everything's going to be okay. And I think that's a good sign at least that he's able to
Good
get up
sign.
and kind of walk off with the assistance of Dave and Ronnie. Those are just big feet to try and find some landing space.
You're jumping around in the paint, and inevitably you'll land on a foot down there. Hoping he's okay. So he goes back to the locker room.
The one thing, Manny, about this Arkansas team is they've tried to get Jonas Adu back. He's only played about 9 minutes a game, is that they're a little bit short, and it's come into play just having enough bodies to practice or scrimmage. They do not need anybody else to go down.
No, you can't catch the injury bug. One thing, though, if you do have to catch it, now is the time early in the year when you can play some of your easier games, although Arkansas' schedule's not very easy. But you never want to see guys go down, especially miss extended time, miss games. You hate that.
Rigsby was probing, and that's going to be a block on Janelle Davis. And the tough part was there was just no place to go. And Coach Cal's been up a couple of times lobbying for some calls. Let's see this one again. Rigsby's twisting, turning, starting to fall down, and maybe he's falling because Davis is landing on him.
Yeah, one of those.
I think I like that better on the replay.
Calls, yeah.
But again, Arkansas has never led in this first half. That's not the pass that'll please anybody.
Pass, yeah.
Thero.
That's a foul, yeah.
I think he was fouled 3 times
Yeah.
in that path to the rim. It only counts as 1, but he was bumped and landed on and then fouled again. Despite this defense, each team with just 5 fouls to this point. There's foul 1, there's the second, there's the third. And
Thero's game is he's super aggressive. Like there's been, every other time down the floor, he's attacking the basket. Not only to only try to score, but to find an open man. Davis right there. Nice shot.
Hey, the Razorbacks have their first lead.
Thero, he's super aggressive, and he uses his body to get into the paint. That's what you have to do. And you miss a few, oh well, keep attacking. Because over the course of the game, you're going to wear the defense out if you just keep attacking, keep hitting them in the paint, and eventually they'll break and you'll get easy baskets.
Arkansas with an 8-0 run. It'll stay Troy basketball when that one was knocked out with 10 to shoot. Arkansas's grit hasn't quit even when the shots have not been falling. They've had to kind of slug their way back into this game. Coach Cal with a warning for coming out of his coach's box. Trojans could use an open look. And Marcus Rigsby Jr. knocks down his second 3 of the game. He's the older brother of the two.
It's good execution by Troy, staying composed and getting the shots they want.
Snaps that 8-0 Arkansas run. Boogie Flam, by the way, has not scored. He's had 17 in each of the first 2 games. Big Z, not a good pass. Intercepted by Dowd, another steal. Connerway goes behind the back, and that's the second time a behind-the-back pass has resulted in a Troy turnover.
It's just getting open and getting your feet set and knocking it down. Decent contest by Boogie Flam, but just a better shot.
3 threes for Troy. Arkansas 1 of 9 from distance.
Conaway, two behind-the-back passes that have resulted in turnovers. I'd imagine we probably won't see a third.
Things travel in threes, but I believe you're right. Conaway all the way to the rim, and Big Z swats it. No goaltending, and it's out of bounds.
There you go.
Manny, that was a foot above the rim.
Yeah. I mean, use that 7-foot-plus body and go deny that. Protect the paint.
What'd you think? Clean block?
Clean block. I mean, if there's no whistle, it's clean. All right, there's some jawing back and forth.
There's some conversation.
I love it. Trash talk in November.
Timeout, Troy. Let's see this one again.
That one's still going up. I think that's
you're
a clean
right.
block. That is a clean block.
It's unusual when the ball's that high above the rim and it's not coming down.
Yeah.
It's still going
Yeah.
up. Arkansas shooting less than 29% from the field. Troy not that much better at 37%. But the turnovers, Manny, that's 9 for the Trojans, and that's kept them from getting more shots. Arkansas's outshot them by 9. Just more attempts.
I mean, a Troy team that prides themselves on making minimal mistakes, and you've got 9 in the first half, on pace for 20-plus. Can't do that. And honestly, having a 1-point lead with 9 turnovers, you got to be happy about where you are.
Against Lipscomb, Arkansas had 12 points in the first 10 minutes. Last 10 is when they turned it on with Big Z. Went 5 for 5 from the field in that stretch. Against Baylor, they really struggled in the first half and figured things out in the second, even though they weren't able to come back and take the lead at any point. It's a really slow first 10 minutes against the Trojans and their defense.
Yeah, and offense is one of those things that always comes a little bit later. Like, as you're early into the season, teams typically have a stronger defense. But then as you get into December, January, offense starts to pick up and get a little bit where that defense is in November.
I think Marcus Rigsby's done a really nice job on Boogie Flam, defending him, and that's kept Arkansas from getting some better looks.
Yeah, I mean, when you have an elite scorer like Boogie Flam, Rigsby's job is to just make it tough. Just make it tough. They're going to score, and in this case, Boogie Flam hasn't really been a scoring factor today, but you imagine he's going to pick it up. But you just make it tough on a scorer and make them expend a lot of energy trying to score baskets.
Couple of assists for Boogie, but no points. And Rigsby has done a nice job on him defensively. And Jonas Adu checks in.
Someone that's been a little banged up, but Trevin Brazil goes down, and you got to have someone backing up Big Z now and give him a break.
9 minutes against Baylor, 1.1 rebound, and we, of course, know what he did as a member of the Volunteers last year in Arkansas. 23 points, 9 rebounds, and a convincing win, and led the SEC in rebounding. I think Coach Cal said this week maybe 75% from an injury, trying to come back and get his feet underneath him. But right now they need him. Not sure what the status of Trevin Brazil might be for the remainder of this game or going forward.
Yeah, I mean, the way his ankle hit the ground,
yes,
I would imagine he's not going to make it back for this game at least.
Conaway. Coach said he's a good finisher at the rim, but right now there's
Another
a lot of bodies.
behind the back pass.
We were wrong. That time it's going to be goaltending.
Hey.
The third time was a charm on the behind the back pass.
You said they come in threes, and the third time was a charm, man. Hey, talk about confidence. Okay.
Keep going back to the well, and they get the basket on this goaltending.
I think it hit the glass.
That might have been it. Pinned
Yeah.
it against the glass. Timeout. Troy Trojans have increased their lead to
Previous
3
play for
over the
goaltending under further
Razorbacks.
review.
First shot, hit 10,000, just like Saliha said, from Car Wash. But we're not going to do it until we get the hog oil back. What do you think
I didn't know they could look at that.
Here's the track flag. Take, you got this.
Actually, I went to Walmart like my first month being here. There was a fan who he recognized me. He was like, "You really just destroyed us when you came here. I'm just so happy that you're here." So that was just like great to hear.
Well, Jonas Aidoo would be hard to hide in a Walmart, but this was the game, Manny. 23 points, 9 rebounds. He just took over in a 92-63 win.
Yeah, I mean, the anchor for that Tennessee team last year, a team that went deep into the NCAA tournament. Dalton Knecht was on that team, but just a force, and you love to see him in Razorback red now.
First team All-SEC, according to the Associated Press, first team defense, and that was the game. 11 of 14 from the field. He also averaged 2 blocks a game, Manny, and I think Arkansas is missing a little bit of that because he's not fully healthy, but I know he's on a mission to get back as quickly as he possibly can to give them kind of that shot-blocking big man presence down low.
Yeah, I think the thing that a lot of people also don't understand is when you're coming back from injury, one, getting that feel for how it feels to not be able to do all the things that you normally can do just because you're injured, but then it's your wind and getting back in game shape. It's just tough. These games are so fast-paced, and
you feel like you're a month or two behind.
Yeah, it's just and it goes quick. You miss a few days of practice, and you're out of shape just like that.
Arkansas hits the 3 from Boogie Flan. First 3 points of the game, and Arkansas has evened things up again.
I love Boogie Flan has not hit a ton of shots early on, but he shoots the next one with the same confidence as he shot the first one.
Manny, he just turned 18. He started the season at 17 years old.
Beyond his years.
4th youngest Razorback to ever suit up. Well, that was an open look. Arkansas backed away. Rebound to Dowd, and then he lost it. That is 10 turnovers on the Trojans. Carter Knox from the corner. Back-to-back threes might have been a little much to ask. And then a frustration foul on Thero against Thomas Dowd. And that'll be, I believe, the 7th on Arkansas.
Just need a couple of those transition kickouts to fall for Arkansas. The crowd is getting into it. You get a basket and you get a look and just haven't been able to convert in the first half thus far.
That's team foul number 6, so Troy not shooting. Arkansas 29% from the field, Troy at 36. This has been a street fight.
It has. And you got to think that Troy is super happy, although they've had a few turnovers and haven't shot the ball as well as they'd like. They've got to be happy with where they are.
Thought that might be a walk
Probably
on Fields.
Was a travel.
Follows the miss and puts it in. That's 8 points for Fields coming off a 15-10 game at New Orleans.
You can definitely see Aidoo is hobbling a little bit. Tough situation to come in. You got your Brazil hurt. He probably wasn't expecting to have a huge impact in this game as he's still getting back into it and then getting your number called.
Richmond the rebound. He brings some energy. Boogie Flan just about had the ball taken away, but a foul instead against Connerway. That was going to be a run out in the other direction. He had 66 steals last year, and he thought he had another one. Ooh, I don't know, Manny.
Pretty clean, but, home cooking's a thing. It's almost Thanksgiving.
We've shot a total of 4 free throws in this first half.
Yeah.
Neither team is in the bonus yet. They will be with the next foul on either squad.
Refs letting them play. I like it, though. I mean, no one pays good money for tickets to come and watch a free throw battle.
We've almost had as many replay reviews as we have free throws in the first half. Boogie Flan feeds Aidoo, but it's
low.
Hard to give the big guy a pass that low.
A little low.
It feels like both of these teams need a halftime just to reset.
Yeah.
Victor Valdez, nice kick into the corner. 3 over Adu, can't drop. Fields the rebound, up strong. I don't know if he ever had it, yet he collected just enough to bank one in, and he has 10 points. Billy Richmond III quickly to the other end and
Arkansas
scores.
thrives. That's where Arkansas thrives. Get out, transition, use that athleticism. Troy, offensive rebound putback, but you got to get back on defense.
Trojans up by 2 with the basketball inside a minute. Nice look, but the catch was not made.
Good hustle by Richmond right there, getting his body on the floor.
Another
See if
turnover.
Arkansas can capitalize.
And now there will be free throws for Boogie Flan.
He stays in attack mode. Young players, if you're watching, that's the kind of aggressiveness you have to have. You stay in attack mode. You know, it doesn't necessarily matter if you are 5 for 5 or 1 for 5. You stay in attack mode. Make the defense be honest. That's how you play a good game over the course of 40 minutes. You always be aggressive and you always stay in attack mode.
Arkansas is going to go small as Adu steps out. Big Z got a couple of early fouls. Trevin Brazil went to the locker room after an awkward land. He's back on the bench.
That's good.
And Boogie Flan makes the free toss. Again, the young man just turned 18 years old in the last couple of days. And there's Trevin, and I'd really love to run over there and ask him how he's feeling after that awkward landing. 5 for Boogie. When you got that towel in your mouth like you're biting down on it like a bit for a horse, I would say you're probably in a little bit of pain.
Probably don't feel the best.
Nice finish by Connor White. Got all the way to the basket. That was too easy. And Arkansas can take the final shot now. Clock is shut off.
See what Boogie Flan does here. Isolation where he thrives. They're going to bring the double.
Boy, that's good defense by the Trojans. And then a late foul going against Jackson Fields before the shot.
Kept his dribble alive. The double came. He didn't panic. Didn't pick up his dribble and was able to get around and draw a foul. That's just a solid point guard doing what he does best.
Coach Cross said Boogie is just dynamic. The other day against Lipscomb, Coach Acuff said in 30 years he doesn't believe he's ever coached against a guard with his skill set.
Yeah.
And you're hearing from these opposing coaches on what they think Boogie Flan can do, and it's high praise all the way around.
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell it's pro-level skill, not only just from an athleticism standpoint, but just the way he handles the ball, his feel for the game, knowing what spots to get to, just an all-around elite player.
He's having quite a conversation right now with Conaway. They're still talking. He's talking as he's dribbling.
I mean, that's some of the best things about basketball. Got to make your free throws, though, if you're going to say something. But it's just, you got to love the back and forth, the competitiveness. I love it.
What Troy loves is a 1-point lead at the half. Arkansas gets their shooting percentage just barely over 30 in the first 20 minutes, but the Trojans on the road up by 1 at the break. Just 2 lead changes the entire first half. It's the Trojans on the road up by 1 at Bud Walton. Welcome courtside, Brett and Manny with you. And Manny, there's no way to sugarcoat this. Arkansas really struggled from the field, and Troy played pretty good defense.
Yeah, I mean, Troy, you got to give them credit. They played great defense, but it's a game of 2 halves. Arkansas had some good looks. They just weren't able to convert them.
Indeed, and I think we knew coming in that this Troy team would really kind of force them to find some open shots, and Arkansas just had a couple of opportunities that spun out. Could not knock down the three either.
Yeah, you see there was an open look by Trevin Brazile. Wagner, a step back, another pretty open look. And, I mean, you got to be satisfied with those looks. Those are the ones that you want. Troy getting out there, getting a block, Boogie playing with the pull-up. You just got to keep shooting them if you're Arkansas. There's nothing else you can do. That's the game of basketball. Take open shots, make open shots. So I think if you're Troy, did a good job on the defensive end. Arkansas, got to keep shooting.
There's only one player in this game in the first half in double figures. It's Jackson Fields, and he's found a way just to clean up some misses.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a good job running the point, finding open people, and just doing his job, doing all the little things, doing the dirty work, and getting in there. Jackson Fields, obviously, Sun Belt Player of the Week, using that toughness and showing that he's not afraid to come into Bud Walton Arena and have a good game.
Troy Trojans at 41% from the field. It's been complicated because Troy has also turned the ball over 11 times. Arkansas with 8 steals. That has kept the Hogs in this one, despite the fact that they're shooting 30%. And Manny, if you're a Razorback fan and you want some good news, I don't have any because Trevin Brazile and Jonas Aidoo will not return in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, not what you want to hear. 2 of your guys anchoring the paint won't be back, but next man up, someone's got to step up. Arkansas is a deep team. They've got the talent. I think they'll be okay.
Trevin had a couple of baskets in the paint that gave the Razorbacks a bit of a lift when Big Z was in foul trouble. But right now, depth is an issue. Arkansas can't afford to get some early fouls here in the second half.
Yeah, and if I'm Troy, obviously you don't know if they know the players that aren't coming in, but you already know Trevin Brazile's probably not coming back. I'm attacking. I'm trying to get some people in some foul trouble. So once you get people in foul trouble, they have to play a little bit conservative on defense so you can get open looks.
Conaway misses the three. A couple of misses for the Trojans. Wagner, this is where he's dangerous. There's the alley. Thero couldn't catch. He was fouled instead by Rigsby Jr. by Marcus. And I think if Arkansas is to pull away in this second half or get a win, it's going to be Adou Thero that's going to have to shoulder a bit of the burden offensively.
Yeah, he's going to have to keep attacking the basket. Wasn't able to really find many points in that first half, but keep his aggression right there, attacking, trying to go get dunks, and eventually you either get fouled or some of those baskets will drop for you.
Adou had 24 points against Baylor, and Scott Drew, who has coached some good ones, after the game said, man, I love that kid.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
that's high praise.
Yeah, it's high praise, national championship winning coach, Hall of Fame coach. When you've got that level of toughness and ability to attack the basket and that athleticism, not many coaches aren't going to like you.
A Troy team, again, that has won 20 games in each of the last 3 years. They've got quite a challenging non-conference schedule. They're going to go to Oregon. They're going to go to Houston. With all these returners and these veterans hoping to pull off a win, get a W someplace. Maybe it might be tonight. That's a knockdown from Marcus Rigsby Jr., who has 8. We're going to take you through the travel schedule in the next week or so for Troy later on. And, yeah, Manny's not signing up for it. I'll tell you that right now. Spoiler alert.
Nope. I'm going to take the elevator on that.
Yep.
On that
you're not taking the stairs, and you're not on any bus, I guarantee you.
Not me.
Big Z with a handoff to Boogie. 2 Trojans there. Boogie probing, driving. Got up in the air with no place to go. He finds Davis. Baseline jumper was tipped in by Thero. He's in double figures now with 10.
That's what it takes. I mean, if you're not going to make jump shots, open threes, the next thing you have to do is crash the glass, and Boogie Flam right there, hustle play. Love to see that from a 5-star.
Basketball.
Yeah. You love to see that from
no.
a McDonald's All-American. Hope he's okay.
He was holding that
hand.
The hand. Remember, Janelle Davis had a wrist issue that's, I think, still impacting him a bit. And we see Aidoo and Brazile on the bench. So Arkansas,
you don't need
if they've had
else.
any luck, it's been bad.
Yeah. No more injuries. I think he's fine.
Tyler Ulis might have to suit up and play some minutes before this game is over.
He might.
Too easy. A takeaway by Conaway. And he just lost it.
I mean, the amount of dunks flying out of hands or wide open layups, turnover.
You know what Lipscomb's coach said the other day is sometimes Arkansas' size and length, they can outrun their mistakes. They can get beat, and all of a sudden there's a block from behind. There's that threat of some pressure coming from behind, and they can outrun their mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, as a coach, when you're recruiting, you love guys. Obviously, you don't want the mistakes, but you love guys that can make up when things aren't perfect and execution inevitably doesn't work out how you want it to. It's basketball. There's a lot of mistakes, but you want to have the athletes in place that can recover from those mistakes. And if you get beat off the dribble, they have the athleticism and the vertical ability to catch up behind you and block it or come steal it from behind. There's always things that you can be doing when the execution breaks down.
Fields one of two out of Elkins High School, same district as my kids play. My daughter, by the way, that district softball MVP last year.
Wow.
Shameless plug.
That's great. That's great.
The baseball MVP got $2 million for the Brewers. She didn't get $2 million. I can guarantee you that.
Maybe she's just not telling you about that. I don't know if I'd tell Dad about that.
Manny, the pressure has been all over Boogie Fland, and finally the foul comes on Rigsby Jr. You know, we talk a lot about this three-headed monster of guards in Wagner and Fland and Davis. It feels like Boogie needs a little help from DJ and Nelly right now.
Yeah, I think Nelly, Davis, Wagner need to get a little more aggressive on the ball. You've got arguably the best trio of guards in the country, and they need to control this game because, you know, Troy's being active on the defensive end. And I'll tell you this, Brett, 17 minutes in the second half. We get down, we get to 10 minutes, get to 5 minutes. That confidence will bloom for Troy if they continue to stay in this game. Not that they would lose confidence, but that end of the tunnel seems a bit more realistic when it's 8 minutes left and you're only down one or you're even winning.
How about that drive from Miles Rigsby, the freshman of the year last year in the Sun Belt? He was in double figures 17 times, just 5 tonight, but that's a big basket. And Big Z will hit the three. He's buried a couple of triples.
Maybe find him some plays where he can get some wide open looks.
I'm with you.
The lone bright spot from a 3-point perspective.
It's a pretty stroke.
Pretty stroke, confident, looks good.
So tied at 32. 7 ties so far in this game. Tough drive, switching hands was Rigsby, but he didn't finish. And Jackson Fields up slow. Arkansas will play with numbers, and that's what Nelly does. He gets to the rim and uses that 6'4" frame in different ways. That's just 4 points for Davis, and this is a guy who averaged 18 a season ago.
Yeah, guy who played in the Final Four, the Florida Atlantic. Arkansas really needs him to get his offense going.
They do. Fields passes up the three. He sees 7-2 in his face.
There you go. The crowd's into it now. Let's see how Troy executes. With the
Fields
turnover.
got up in the air with no place to go. Boogie Fland to the basket. Firo followed it in. It won't count. And now Boogie Fland is down, and I think it's more frustration than it was an injury. He took a pretty good shot. And Manny, Big Z has given the Razorbacks a bit of a lift tonight.
Pop out, and it's a pretty stroke. Knock down, lone 3-point bright spot, and then Nelly Davis, just a Euro step veteran player doing what he does best, attacking the basket.
Coach Scott Cross has taken one of his teams to an NCAA tournament, his alma mater, UT Arlington. It was in this state in Little Rock. I can't believe they played NCAA tournament games in Little Rock. However, the bad news is he had to face a #1 seed named the Memphis Tigers, coached by Cal, and of course that was the Derrick Rose team.
Derrick Rose, Chris Douglas Roberts, that was a fun team to watch, and obviously in the championship game they ran into Mario Chalmers, but I mean, that's so much fun. That was honestly one of the golden ages of college basketball right there in 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008. Just some elite players in that time frame.
I mentioned in 2014, his Mavericks took on Kentucky, and that's when Devin Booker had a big night, and that was the team that went 38-1 and lost to Wisconsin in the Final Four, but that's a younger Cal back in 2008.
Yeah.
Nice tie combo there, coaching
Nice.
Memphis.
I tell you, that Kentucky team, that 38-1, just plethora of talent there. You see Troy's coach there. I mean,
You know, the one thing he also said about facing Kentucky, when they had Tyler Eulis, who's on staff here, he said, it's the one time I worried my point guard wouldn't be able to get the ball across midcourt stripe because he said he might have been the best on-ball defender he's ever gone up against.
yeah, I mean, Tyler
There's
Eulis
Tyler.
over there. Yep, just
Get him a jersey, by the way.
might need one. Might need one right now. Such a good player, SEC Player of the Year.
Manny, this is the largest lead of the game for Arkansas at 3 points. To the rim, there's Thero denying Connerway. Big Z running the floor. 2 big steps and he lost it, taken away by Rigsby. He went down. I tell you what, this has been a football game.
Wow.
Connerway went with the bounce off the foot of Thero, those aqua green shoes. Kicked the ball.
I need me a pair of those.
Tell you what, you could go running at night and the cars would see you.
Right here, Thero just doing what he does best. Athleticism, getting Arkansas out in the break. You do need to convert on some of these fast break opportunities against Troy.
There's the alley, the catch, and that wasn't exactly how they drew it up for Bellamy. That ball kind of deflected off his hands and fell through more than a flush.
Good execution there by Troy. And, you know, they're weathering the Arkansas storm. I mean, the crowd's getting into it. Arkansas hasn't really been able to convert on the offensive end like they want, but
And Big Z goes down. And Manny, I think we're going to see more sets or more design plays to get Big Z some looks.
yeah, I think, and that's just, you know, Calipari being a Hall of Fame coach, a coach with experience, understanding, okay, in the half court, the motion offense, the dribble penetration hasn't really worked for us over the course of the game. What are some sets that we can run to get some easy baskets or get in position to get fouled to get to the free throw line?
Zvonimir Ivisic, Big Z out of Croatia. His 16 games last year, played 15. Hey, there's those shoes from Thero. Again, you could go running at night and the cars will see you. Those will shine.
Grinch Kobe's. I've been looking for them. Might have to talk to Calipari about finding me a pair.
Yeah, you might want to call in a favor, too. Ivisic had 2 points in 17 minutes against Baylor. He scored 7 in this game. Manny, I kept wondering if we might see a little more flow offensively, but this has been the same type of grind-em-out game for 25 minutes this evening.
I mean, I thought, you know, come out of the second half, you have a
Has to
little
be a
bit
wall.
more. Yeah, it's travel. A little bit more composure, calm down. But, I mean, I think it's a testament to both teams' defense.
I do, too.
They're making the game sloppy, making it hard to get offensive possessions that are smooth, and the result of that is low-scoring game.
And it almost feels like a football game where you know you're going to have fewer possessions. So it magnifies the importance of those that you do get. So you don't go into a 4 or 5 minute scoreless drought.
Yeah, every possession matters, and it also feels like, you know, if you can get a 5-6 point lead, that feels more like 10 or 12 with the pace of this game and just how the offense is going for both teams.
Arkansas led for about 2 minutes in this game. Chanel Davis, after the pump fake, gets open for 3, and that shot was true. Just his second hit from distance this season. And remember, last year he was 40+% from beyond the arc.
Yeah, I mean, and like we said, Arkansas needs his shooting ability, his three-point shooting ability. He was one of the guys that when they brought him here, he was going to be one that could bolster that three-point shooting ability for this team. So he's got to continue to shoot that ball and make it at a high clip.
Boy, good catch.
He's calling
by
for it.
I mean, the other day, Flandon Thero hit threes. Everybody else was 0 for 11. So a good sign to see Nelly Davis knock one in. High arcing shot. That brought rain from Boogie Fland as he reaches double figures. That was 8 feet above
that
the
was
rim.
high up there.
Largest lead of the game for the Razorbacks, and Troy wants a timeout. Things getting away from the Trojans just a bit, and these fans, maybe their loudest they have been all game long.
You see right here, Nelly Davis doing what he does best. Pump fake, getting him in the air, knocking the three down, and then this is just high skill level basketball, getting to your spot, floating it up over the big man. Arkansas with their biggest lead of the game.
Out cares every coach in America. I'll tell you that from day one. I'm going to keep saying it now. He has a way to him that, not many people will understand, but he gets it to us. He knows our goals, he knows our aspirations, and, just helping us get to that point, I feel like that's his main goal. And, he wants to see the best of us.
Manny, he out-cares every coach in America, and I think what you heard from Boogie is how he understands their dreams and aspirations, and normally that means getting quickly to the NBA. Boogie was a 5-star. Arkansas announced the signings today of a couple of 5-star guards for next year, which means you might think that Boogie could be a one-and-done guy if things continue to go well for him this season.
Yeah, I think Coach John Calipari, he talks about how he's not in the business of wins and losses. He's in the business of helping young men reach their goals and change their lives, and wins are a byproduct of that, but he's in the business of helping his players, and I think that's why year in and year out you see top 5 player in the country, 3, 4, 5 commit to where John Calipari is at, because he's not here for just your talent so you can help him win. He's trying to help you attain your goals and reach your peak potential.
Shot clock down to 3. Troy's had a hard time holding onto the basketball. The three-pointer won't hit iron, and that's a shot clock violation. So out of a timeout, Arkansas D's up.
They're trying to give it back to.
Is that right?
They called a foul on.
I think they're going to take a look again.
Look at it.
We've had a couple of plays that have gone down to the wire before a foul, and we've had a couple of goaltendings looked at as well.
Previous plays under further review.
Going to see if that foul occurred before the shot clock violation. He's trying to get the handle on the basketball. And
After review, the call on the floor is confirmed.
pretty easy once you go back and take a look at that. By the way, the shooting percentages, Arkansas's warmed up to 37%, Troy at 40%. Hawks, though?
Yeah, across the board, we're 37, 38, 40. You look at free throws, we're at 60% for Troy, 64% for Arkansas. All around, not a impressive offensive game.
No.
But, we're in November, early, the third game of the year for both teams. It's going to be rusty. You rather play like this now than in February and March?
There's the alley. Pretty good catch. Tough physical basket from Miles Rigsby, and he scored 7.
That's it. This Troy team's going to win a lot of games in the Sun Belt.
They might take down Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon played a game against the Portland Pilots close, and Portland almost and really should have got away with that win. The game went into overtime, but yeah, this team's they're gonna win a lot of games in the Sun Belt. Tough, execute well, limit turnovers. They've got a good team.
Rigsby just had the basket in the paint, tries for 3. Fields has the rebound taken away by Firo.
A man rebound by Firo.
You aren't kidding. And a takeaway by Campbell. Ahead of the pack is Seng. Richmond disrupted it. What a heads-up play to throw that ball off the Razorbacks, and what's the call?
It's been a lot of to the monitor.
Looks like Trojans basketball, 24 to shoot. Carter Knox out, Boogie Flan back in.
Let's see here. Richmond, hustle play. Yeah,
I was wondering if maybe that ball hit the Trojan on the deflection.
Yeah, I think it landed out of bounds before.
I think Troy gets the first down, 1st and 10, and there's Rigsby again with the drive. Back to a 3-point game.
Arkansas tries to push this lead a little bit further. Troy has an answer, but I think you got Nelly Davis, Boogie Flan starting to build up more of that offensive confidence right now. So we'll see if they capitalize here.
Davis on the drive. He tried to throw one down. Had that one deflected out of his hand. 3 ball, and the Trojans can tie, and instead they throw it away. You know, against Baylor, when Arkansas struggled against their zone, they were just a little bit confused. Coach Cal said when you're confused, you can't be aggressive. They've been aggressive tonight, just really good defense all game long. It was signing day around college sports, and the Razorbacks did well for themselves. Darius Acuff Jr. out of Detroit, Michigan IMG, the top-ranked point guard for the 2025 class by 3 different services, is a future Hog, listed 12th on the 2026 NBA mock draft. And there's Malik Thomas, the #1 shooting guard. I think Arkansas held off UConn for his services. And Manny, it's hard to get that 5th star. We're seeing a lot of future Razorbacks that indeed are 5-star prospects.
Yeah, I mean, that just it builds excitement for the fan base. And I tell you, I haven't seen Malik Thomas, but I've seen Acuff, and he can flat out go. It's going to be a lot of fun having him and Bud Walton next season. But, I mean, this is going to be a common thing. Hog fans will get spoiled by the 5 stars as long as John Calipari is the coach.
I think what Cal has done is you see Janelle Davis come out of that huddle is you have to have a few of the veterans in this portal era to go in with some of these 17, 18, 19-year-old kids. And sometimes it's for games like this that might be decided by the toughness and the grit of a possession here or there.
Yeah, I mean, the ultimate goal for Arkansas every single year is going to be to win a national championship. And if you look at the national champions of late, in the past, like, you have to have that experience. You have to have those older.
There's the alley! The U with the throwdown.
There we go. So I thought you know that it's coming at some point. But back to our point on the makeup of a team, you got to have some size. I can't even get my thoughts off because Arkansas is running.
Thero again goes up and under with the left hand. And how about the athleticism in back-to-back sequences? 4 quick points for Thero.
That's awesome.
That's the way you want to come out of a timeout.
It is.
They might keep
Another
on rolling.
Turnover.
There's the baseball pass. Can Thero go for another? Boogie Flan, baseline 3, 7 quick points, and Troy has to call a timeout. What a swing here in the last 30 seconds.
I mean, that's Arkansas basketball, forcing turnovers, getting to the basket, showing that athleticism, and then getting dribble penetration, kicking out for wide open threes. That's how you get the crowd into it.
I think it was a few moments ago I said with the new Thero, you get a feeling if Arkansas is to find some flow and get some points, it would be with this talented junior out of Pittsburgh. Nifty move here.
Sometimes all it takes is one play. You get a good look, and then this offense starts flowing. You see right there, dribble penetration kick to Boogie Flan, and like I said, he shoots it with so much confidence, it's going to eventually fall.
Against Lipscomb in the only other home game, Arkansas was plus 20 when Boogie Flan was on the floor. They also scored 25 points off turnovers. That really fell off against Baylor, and they had 54 points in the paint on some dunks and some layups. And that's kind of the recipe, I would think, until the shooting starts to come around from distance.
Yeah, I mean, no different there. You start that mini run by getting a dunk, an easy basket. You force a turnover, get an easy reverse layup.
You know, you mentioned Malik Thomas not that long ago. He's a Pittsburgh kid, and Thero is as well, so maybe a Pittsburgh pipeline for the Hogs.
I mean, that's one thing that happens once you start building that talent pipeline is then they will recruit for you. They will move on to the NBA, professional, wherever they end up, and then they're the ones talking to the recruits saying, hey, you want to go down there to Fayetteville, they're building something big, and you want to be a part of it.
7-0 run by the Razorbacks. Arkansas enjoying its largest lead in this game. Physical play from Rigsby as he hits the deck and draws another foul. I think Davis, the guilty party. That's the third on Davis. Remember, Brazil was injured, rolled that ankle in the first half. Jonas Adu also was ruled out for coming back in the second, so Arkansas cannot afford too much foul trouble with still 10-plus minutes to go. Feels like we should be down to 2 or 3 minutes, and there's 10-plus.
Yeah, I know. Getting past the bedtime here.
Rigsby reaches double figures. Last year shot 159 free throws, so he's used to being at the stripe. Knox will check in for Nellie Davis. Last year, 17 times he was in double figures. He reached that plateau on the previous free throw, but couldn't make them both. And yet, Troy's going to maintain possession after that ball was last touched by the Razorbacks. Tatum Connerway probing against Knox. Got up in the air, came down with a basketball. That's a travel. He didn't lose it, but the problem is he came down with it.
And that was on Arkansas to maintain verticality, to not get that foul call. Just jump in the air, put your arms up, and let the...
No, it's a good point. And Manny, Coach Cal's been preaching that this week. Play with your hands up. When they're down, you give up shots. When you reach or bend, you get fouls.
Yep. Hands vertical, hands in the air. Takes out the sight of the offense. It can't make easy passes. It really should just be taught everywhere.
Tell you what, I like his three-point stroke. That's 3 triples for Ivisic.
Yeah, he shoots.
It's a soft jump shot.
Soft jump shot for someone being that tall.
That's a kick from Boogie before a potential run out. And Arkansas again has reached their largest advantage of this contest. Hogs have made 6 threes. Big Z has half of that number.
He's so
Ball's
tall.
just got great rotation.
Yeah, great rotation, and doesn't see the defender. He's almost looking inside the basket with how tall he is. Raises up and knocks it down.
Rigsby Jr. can't hit the 3. Fields tried to follow it in with a flush, but he was last to touch.
See here, Troy is in some scary waters right now as the lead's ballooned up to 12, and if they don't get some offense going here in the next 3-4 minutes, it could get a little scary for their chances to win this game.
Off land, out of bounds. Remember, in that Baylor game, he had 7 assists and no turnovers, but just lost that one. 4 turnovers in this game, and again, part of that credit goes to this aggressive Trojans defense. We're going to have some tired players tomorrow morning or later on tonight when this game is over.
Yeah, that's what you want, though. You want a good, aggressive, competitive game, everyone playing their hearts out. That's the beauty of college basketball.
Jump stop, a lean in. Big Z swatted that one away from Rigsby. Last touch by the Trojans, and now Arkansas's length is becoming a bigger and bigger factor.
Yep, that athleticism kicks in. You know, you get into that first 20 minutes, teams have stamina, teams are playing on adrenaline, but that's why the game is 40 minutes, and that superior athletic build of Arkansas's team is showing its colors right now.
All right, no Boogie Flan, so DJ Wagner operating the point. You see this aggressive defense from Rigsby. He's coming out 30 feet from the basket. Coach Cal said the other day, listen, if they're going to come out and defend you that far away, that opens up the floor, there should be more spacing. Arkansas hasn't taken advantage. Big Z, a bit of a heat check, and that's going to be a push on Carter Knox. He'll get the foul. His second.
That's a tough one.
Just the 4th on the Razorbacks in the second half. We've had more fouls on loose balls and with 1 or 2 seconds on the shot clock than you will see in a long time. And I think it speaks to these teams just playing hard
They're playing hard.
through the shot clock.
I had a mentor, Brett, and he had a bird dog, Birdie the bird dog, and would chase after ducks, with that ball that everyone's diving after, it reminds me of Birdie. Just going after the ball, chasing after the ducks.
I was really confused where you were going with that story, but you brought it home quickly. And this was an offensive foul and an elbow, and you'll see it here. That's an easy call on Marcus Rigsby. I didn't picture you as the bird hunter.
Yeah, I mean, not really, but have friends, family who do it, and I join in on the conversations, not really knowing what I'm talking about.
Marcus Rigsby Jr. goes to the bench with 4 fouls. So foul trouble is kind of creeping into this game, and it's going to be a foul on Connerway about 40 feet from the basket against Thero. When you get tired, Manny, those fouls come a little more fast and furious.
Yeah.
A little more reaching, less
Fatigue.
moving the feet.
Fatigue will make a coward out of us all. Once you get a little tired, feet move a little slower. It's the brain is still running at full capacity, but your legs, your arms are a half second behind because just a little bit too tired.
Makes sense. Thero on the drive, lost the ball. Big Z the catch. Taken away by Dowd. Trojans could use some points in transition.
Red Mamba.
Red Mamba can't hit the 3. Boogie Fland ahead of the pack. And fouled by Connerway. And that's going to be his 4th. So 2 starters for the Trojans now have 4 fouls. Media timeout. The Hogs looking for a little separation to get their 2nd win of the season. Manny, I would say that's stark improvement from the first half to the second.
Yeah, I mean, 18% to 80%, that's a steep increase. But, I mean, that's what you have to do. You can't care about what the first half brought. All you can do is focus on the controllables and what you can do in the second half, and Arkansas has done that. Shot the ball with confidence in the second half, and the numbers show.
We talk a lot about coaches, and obviously the Coach Cal theme is one that's still new to Arkansas. How much does that play into adjustments at the half or in-game changes that can make big differences on how you attack and how you defend?
So they say the difference between good coaching and great coaching is adjustments. You know that your game plan will probably be busted even before halftime, but definitely by halftime, and the ability to kind of see how the game is flowing as a coach, see what players need to be in what position and make those adjustments, and you can do a lot of that at halftime. So those teams that are better in the second half, a lot of times you look over there on the sideline and they have an experienced coach, a coach that's going to the Hall of Fame, and if you look over on the Hogs sideline, you have that. So chances are you're going to have some good adjustments coming out into the second half, and the team is going to play better.
Boogie missed them both. Guess who got loose? Bellamy, another flush. You were telling me, though, it still doesn't quite make sense that Coach Cal is here for you. You're still processing.
I mean, all aboard, but it is a little weird seeing him on the Arkansas sideline. I think a lot of people would say that, but, I mean, he's a head hog, and everyone's excited and everyone's on board.
Someone lost a shoe. Valdez playing with one tire right now. That might be a speed bump. Janelle Davis misses the 3, and someone's got to get there. Shoe, and Valdez doesn't want to have to go up and down again with just one. Bellamy got ahead of everybody last time down.
Wagner
didn't even need a
lost sight
dribble.
of the ball, yeah.
Two Trojans with 4 fouls, couple of starters. Marcus Rigsby and Connerway, so they have to play more. In their first game this year against Toledo, part of that MAC Sunbelt Challenge, they had 9 of their 11 players at 6 points or more. So that's spreading it out, getting contributions, And in games like this, they're going to need it, but it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want. You want to spread the love from a scoring perspective, but haven't really been able to crack the code on the offense. I mean, that's credit to Arkansas's defense. Big Z down there protecting the paint.
He sure is.
Got to figure out a way to get a few more points than 41 if you're going to come out with wins against these Power 5 schools.
Rebound by Thero. Arkansas has been out-rebounded by 10 in the game. Bellamy running the floor. Troy's only hit 3 threes. It's hard to come on the road and win when you're not knocking down the threes, even if you're getting some high percentage shots, but Bellamy was denied at the rim again. Boogie Flan from one end. Big Z still feeling it. 4 triples for Avicic. Manny, he wasn't a factor against Baylor. He has been in these 2 home games.
He's knocking them down, man, and he's doing it on both ends of the floor. He got a big block on the possession before, and then you come out and get a wide open 3 right there. Just not giving up on the play, using that size. That's exactly what you have to do, and then just stepping in. That's target practice right there.
How often does the guy have 4 blocks and 4 threes in one game?
Man, new age basketball. New age basketball, but I mean, that's what it takes. You know, that has him on NBA draft boards, scouts looking at that, being able to move your feet, protect the basket, but then also stretch the defense and be able to knock down wide open threes.
When Arkansas plays Illinois coming up later this month, he's going to get to go up against his twin brother. How much fun is that going to be?
Man, bragging rights at the Thanksgiving dinner table over Christmas. That's fun.
He gained 20 pounds this offseason, so there could be a few more LBs at that Thanksgiving dinner. But, you know, Chin Coleman has showed him some video of Domantas Sabonis of the Kings in Lithuania for someone that he wants to emulate. And a guy who played professionally in Montenegro in the Adriatic League. I was trying to get Dusty a job in the Adriatic League while he was here. We're still working on that. Better than Siberia or Kazakhstan or some of the other places where we've seen some players go. Meanwhile, this is a crucial stretch for the Trojans. Just 41 points, so putting the ball through the net has been a challenge. Not when you flush it like Bellamy. He's given him a lift off the bench. This is a springy mid-major team, though. And, you know, they're not loaded with 6'10", 6'11", but they can get up and contest and dunk.
Yeah, I mean, we said it earlier. It's definitely athletic makeup of a team that isn't in the Sun Belt, more of a Power 5 team.
Come on now. 5 triples for Big Z and 16 points. And now Boogie's limping.
I mean, his shots aren't hitting the rim. Like, I don't think any one of them has come close to touching the rim. He's feeling it, but yeah, you know, Boogie Flan.
Let's see if Boogie's okay. You know, it was after the Lipscomb game where Coach Cal, post-game on radio, said, hey, spoiler alert, I think Big Z might be our best three-point shooter. And I said, you know, I'm 100% in agreement.
Yeah.
It's just a nice stroke. It's hard when he catches in the corner to contest. You can't close out on him, and he's got the ability to knock it down. He's made 5 threes. Last year, I think he made 6 all season with Kentucky. Someone can check my math. He said 5 this evening.
Getting close to that number.
Rigsby drifted to his left to shoot the 3. Still 5 minutes to go.
Troy has just been stuck in this 40 to 40, 43, 41 for a while. Now getting to 43.
They scored 16 in the second half.
Yeah, haven't been able to replicate the success in the second half. And I think, you know, Arkansas's defensive pressure, Big Z in the paint, kind of blocking some of those easy shots that have made it just tougher on this team that doesn't have the athletes. And then if you're not hitting your shots from deep, this is what can happen.
It's a battle of attrition, though, as you see Boogie having that ankle wrapped, and he doesn't look exactly comfortable either. Remember, Brazil and Edu ruled out for the second half. Awkward ankle roll from Brazil. Big Z goes to the bench. Arkansas going small. Their 3 bigs are all seated over there right now. May have to go to the G League and bring somebody up before
you never want to see
Monday.
all your size be benched. But like I said, rather if you're going to have some injuries, inevitably will. Got to make that if you're.
My goodness.
That's just.
Fields didn't realize
Fields
how
has
open he
to,
was. Thero with the flush. Biggest lead of the night for Arkansas. And I go back to what Scott Drew said. Man, I love that kid.
Yeah.
Catching a lay-in
Got to get back on
from
defense.
Singh. That's happened a few
Yeah,
times
it's
tonight.
happened a few times. Troy's pushed the pace, and Arkansas hasn't fallen asleep on transition defense. Not something that Calipari is going to be happy with in the film room tomorrow.
Arkansas doesn't play until Monday. No games this weekend. There's a football game that I think the locals are interested in. Thero, open 3. And he'll knock one down. That's a 19-point game for Duke Thero.
So good. And a guy who has been in the college game multiple years. You love to see those guys who've developed, played less early on and has just gotten better year over year and has come out and said, hey, I've been in college. I've got the experience. It's my time now.
Conaway with the spin, maybe some steps, no whistle. Turnover instead. Janelle Davis, he's been quiet. Can't get that 3 to go, but Carter Knox will run down the rebound, and he's going right back to the rim and threw one over the head of Billy Richmond III. Tell you what, both teams are tired right now.
We need immediate timeout.
Pretty good drive and a finish by Miles Rigsby. 12 points, right around his per-game average. Boogie Flan, the good news is, about to come back in the game, which would be after our media break. Adu Thero, is he feeling it? Maybe a heat check of his own. Long overdue for a break. We play on. 15-point game. Ball deflected away again. Thero to Davis, and he's going to be out of bounds. And we'll go to break, but Manny Adu Thero has taken over a bit here in these last 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he's done it all. Transition dunks, that's what the crowd loves to see. Then also using that pretty stroke to knock it down, in Arkansas 62-47 here late in the second half.
So you want to play mid-major basketball. The Troy Trojans, they'll stay over tonight. They're busing home tomorrow, 10-plus hours. On Friday, they go to Atlanta, going to the Hawks game. That's a 3-hour drive. Then they're going to fly back across the country to Eugene, play the Ducks on Sunday. Then on Monday, fly to Atlanta, drive to Carrollton, Georgia. You can't see it all in a day, so you got to spend a couple of days there. And play West Georgia before returning to Troy. They take the stairs.
They take the stairs, and those are stairs, Brett, I tell you, I might not be taking. 10-hour bus drive after a hard-fought game here in Fayetteville. That's life mid-major. I had a bunch of buddies growing up playing, went to mid-major schools, and that's the reality of it.
Yep. You don't ask
Budgets
when the
are
charter
a little bit
lands.
thinner, yeah.
But, they've got to play a couple of games, generate a little bit of money. They also believe they can win one of these games with this team. They were in it at half. In fact, they led by a couple of points at the break, and we'll see if they can get Oregon or maybe Houston. Also hosted MTE at home on Thanksgiving week, but they're going to win a lot of games in the Sun Belt, I do believe.
Yeah, they will. And you really, these games are, obviously you come in with every intention of winning.
And there's a flush
Yeah,
from Fields, almost a foul.
Great pass as well. But you come in with every intention of winning. But these help you out. They help you build up confidence and get the experience of playing a team that's probably superior athletically, and a team that you won't see in the Sun Belt.
No doubt.
So you get some of that tougher competition early on.
They're picked third behind James Madison. Good basketball school, even though they lost their coach in Arkansas State. Good program in Jonesboro. There's the push. Rebound to Davis. Inside 2 minutes from Bud Walton. Arkansas about to go to 2-1. Quite a November ahead. Some games on tap. Coach Cal, after that Baylor loss, said either you're winning or you're learning at this time of the year.
Yep.
Arkansas learned on Saturday, winning today. I tell you what, Big Z just keeps raining in long-range three-pointers. You think he's fired up?
Yeah.
The Croatian sensation is loose.
Yeah, if I'm him, I'm taking a couple steps past half court and letting one fly. Might as well.
What's the stoppage for? Are we just celebrating all the threes from Big Z? So last season I was right. 6 threes all year because
6
Coach Cal,
tonight.
I don't know if he wanted him shooting too many threes. 6 this evening.
Unbelievable. Well, it's only right you get one more.
Yeah, things travel in threes times 2 apparently with Big Z. And 5 of those three-pointers have come in the second half.
Yeah.
Which has been
When
a
they
big
needed
reason
it, yeah.
Arkansas outscored them by 17.
Yeah, those aren't junk time threes. He's made them in big moments to stretch this lead out and really put this game away.
Remember, no Brazil or Adu in the second half. We're down to a minute. Well, I thought that was going to be a takeaway by Connerway. Instead, he gets the foul, and he's going to be excused from the remainder of this game with his 5th. For a team that's had trouble shooting the threes, 10 makes in this game. They've made more threes than they have free throws. Go figure.
Yeah, I mean, that's gotta attack the basket a little bit more. But when you come into a hostile environment, the whistle's not always going to go your way. So,
oh my goodness,
not a good free throw there.
Well, things happen.
Yep.
Even air balls on free throws. These teams will sleep well tonight. Only one of them will have a 10-hour bus trip tomorrow.
Man, don't envy it. But I think Arkansas continue to learn a lot about your team. You know, didn't have the best offensive game. Weren't knocking down shots in the first half and kind of, bleeding over from the Baylor game where you play decent, but you're not good enough to win the game. And then you come out in the second half and play way better offensively. Has to help with the confidence and just the understanding that, it's a long game and you got to play the 2 halves and just keep your confidence, keep shooting the ball, and things will work out.
That's what Cal preached. Don't let a couple of misses affect your confidence. Arkansas was at 30% in the first half. And over 42% now for the game, speaking to what they've done here in the second half. Big Z with another block. And Boogie Fland will not take the shot in the final few seconds, will tick away, and that's a 65-49 slugfest win for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, I mean, Arkansas, you have to be happy with the way they finished the game here. You had a game that was neck and neck the entire way, and then you come out in the second half, bloom up this lead, and really showed yourself that, hey, no matter if we can win a game where we're knocking down shots, we can win a game if it has to be ugly. We're a good team, and they showed why they're ranked number 18.
Wasn't pretty, but it counts as a win for the Razorbacks. We'll be back on Monday for Pacific. Joe Klein will join me. That'll be a 7 o'clock Central Time start. So for Manny Watkins and our entire crew, I'm Brett Dolden, thanking you for tuning in. Once again, our final score, the Razorbacks take down Troy, 65-49. So long and good night from Bud Walton Arena in Northwest Arkansas.